This handwritten eyewitness account was authored 40 years ago today, just 3 hours after the Kent State shootings.
At no time did I see any evidence of sniping. I saw no evidence of warning shots either.
The words are those of Jerry Lewis, who was a young sociology professor in 1970.
I'm also under the impression that the guard fired on command and not randomly.
Jerry was a faculty marshal watching students protesting the Vietnam War. He recalls helping a student who had been tear-gassed and then watching Ohio National Guardsmen march up Blanket Hill. Moments later, the unthinkable.
The guard went up the hill. I saw it turn and fire, and I was really surprised.
Jerry was standing right about here in the parking lot behind hundreds of protesters when suddenly he heard popping noises. He looked up and saw smoke coming from the guns. Realizing the guard was not firing blanks, Jerry ran and dove behind those bushes. In 13 seconds, 67 shots were fired from M1 military rifles, leaving 4 students dead, 9 others wounded.
I began to run around saying, "I'm Dr. Lewis, you must leave, those are real bullets."
Lewis says the tragedy would have been much worse if not for several faculty marshals convincing the students to leave. He points out that only 28 of the 71 guardsmen fired.
Of those 28, half fired into the air, into the ground. Can you imagine if all the guardsmen had fired their weapons?
Lewis is now an emeritus professor of sociology at Kent State and has compiled extensive research on May 4th.
It was a plan designed for failure, and it did.
He says a question still debated 4 decades later: did the guardsmen conspire to shoot, or did they act in self-defense from a rowdy crowd?
It's quite clear from research as well as photographic evidence that they were not under threat. The point is they believed they were under threat.
While the memories of that day are painful, Lewis believes as a survivor it's his responsibility to tell his May 4th story. In Kent, Bob Jones, News Channel 5.